From a 100-year-old World War II veteran to Sydney Sweeney's jeans, we're going to tell you everything that's wrong with Western civilization coming up in just a second. Also, Jessica Tarlov. Of course, you expect her to defend Nancy Pelosi. The problem is she tried to do it in front of a live Fox News audience, and it was a bloodbath. It was really bad. So we're going to show that to you. Also, lies, damn lies, and Democrat lies about DHS, about ICE, the media, everything. It's ugly. It's horrible. And we're going to blow it all up coming up in just a second. And we've got our buddy Chris DeGaulle back from his lengthy vacation. Good to have Chris back. All that and a whole lot more. We are brought to you by The Lion. My name is Larry O'Connor, and you can call me Larry. We have too much fun as we're getting ready to do this show. We'll get to it in a minute, but first, subscribe so you can be part of our fun every single day here live on our stream at noon. Or if you're watching after the fact on demand, hi, we had a great time. Just go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And while you're at it, go ahead and put your comments down in the chat there underneath the video that you're watching right now. I want to know what you think of Sydney Sweeney's jeans, if you don't mind, because she did the hottest thing I've ever seen a woman do in this interview. Incredible. We're going to show you every little bit of it in just a second. First, though, if you care about staying sharp and informed, please make The Lion part of your daily routine. The Lion. It's published by the Herzog Foundation. The Lion covers the headlines that matter, from politics and policy to culture and faith, all through a common sense, values-driven lens. It's the kind of journalism that goes beyond the surface, offering the context and clarity today's news demands. Whether you're tracking big national stories or want to know what's happening in schools, state houses, and communities across the country, The Lion delivers smart, well-sourced reporting you won't find anywhere else. Visit readlion.com, catch up on the latest must-read stories, and sign up for the Lion's daily and weekly newsletters while you're there. That's readlion.com, news that informs and respects your worldview. Do you ever watch the daily headlines scream by on your cable news box or maybe on your social media feed and your streaming platforms, and you think, how the hell did we get here? And what is going on with Western civilization? Well, you're not alone. But imagine you were watching all of that through the eyes of a 100-year-old man who fought and risked his life in World War II to protect that very Western civilization you see falling apart before your very eyes. Well, such is the case with this man who was featured on British television this week. And what he had to say, well, you need to listen.
What does Remembrance Sunday mean for you? What is your message?
My message is, I can see in my mind's eye those rows and rows of white stones of all the hundreds of my friends and everybody else that gave their lives for what? The country of today. No, I'm sorry. The sacrifice wasn't worth the result that it is now.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
What do you mean by that, though? At this point?
What we fought for, and what we fought for was our freedom. We find that even now it's darn sight worse than what it was when I fought for it.
Oh, Alec, I'm sorry you feel like that, because I want you to know that all the generations that have come since, including me and my children, are so grateful for your bravery and all that for service personnel. And it's our job now, isn't it, to make it the country that you fought for. You absolutely fought for.
Is it.
And we will do. We want to...
I'm so wonderful to know there are people like you that can spread the word around.
We will do.
Younger generation.
And I guarantee that everybody watching at home will be wanting you to send lots of love. We've got another little bit special thing for you, Alec. We've got the D-Day darlings here. Come on over, guys. You've got a little special present for him. Ooh. Come and give it if you can, to thank you for all your many brave years of service and others like you.
This is our album, Alec, and I know you love a lot of the songs on there. And this is the least we can do. This is such a small thing, but you know we love you so much, Alec.
wonderful.
And it's all signed for you there as
These
well.
young ladies are like my own daughters.
It's very sweet, and I wish they weren't so patronizing the way they spoke to him, because he was saying something pretty important and pretty significant. And sadly, the BBC had to sweep in and arrest him for sexual harassment for kissing that young woman's hand. It's a sad story, but let's bring in our friend Chris DeGaulle. He's the morning man at Salem News Channel and Salem Radio Network, and he joins us now. Christopher, good morning. First of all, thanks for joining us.
Good morning, my friend. How are you?
I'm well, except that was heartbreaking. And I
Yeah.
think that it resonates too, because we all know what he was talking about. The host tried to gloss over it and patronize him. But he's sitting in London, run by Sadiq Khan, which does not look like the London he returned to after D-Day. And over across the pond, we've got Zohran Mamdani turning New York upside down as well. It's heartbreaking to hear a veteran of World War II say it wasn't worth it. The sacrifices, it wasn't worth it.
It is, and I don't know if you've had cause to do this. One of my favorite trips I've ever taken in my entire life was to go to the D-Day beaches. Actually,
I did 2 years ago.
It is the most remarkable thing, and I recommend everyone, if you can do it, boy, do it. And if you ever get to hang out with guys like that, and there are a handful of them still around, and they show up for these parades, and it's such a beautiful kind of moment in time where you really, I've said 1,000 times before, the most patriotic I've ever felt about the country is when I'm in rural France. And I've never felt more patriotism for our country and the service of the men who died there than when I went to rural France, where they have a genuine love and affection for these people still to this day, 80 something years later. So yeah, it's
Chris, post World War II, that was the pinnacle of Western civilization. We had done the impossible. We have saved ourselves from ourselves. Freedom and liberty was shining. And yes, we had the Cold War. That was a struggle, but we won that too. And now look where we are. How quickly it seems like it's slipping through our fingers.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, we have notable podcasters hosting historians saying that Churchill was worse than Hitler. I mean, yeah, it's been perverted and bastardized quickly. I hope we can steer it back. It's going to take a healthy push to get it done, but yeah, it breaks your heart when you see a guy of that age say that he feels that our fallen comrades both across the pond and here died for nothing. But it's hard to argue. Again, as you said, that election on Tuesday was just stunning.
And it goes beyond just politics and economic policy. It's a cultural issue. These are cultural struggles that we've got here. We do have some hope this week. Believe it or not, the hope for saving Western civilization, we looked at men like that, 70, 80 years ago during World War II to save our civilization. Now maybe it's Sydney Sweeny and her genes. I'll get to that in a second. But first, another sign of the times out of Britain. Remember this newscaster when she was reading her teleprompter and the script that was fed her, and she realized mid-sentence that she couldn't say what she was compelled to say at that moment. Watch.
London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine has released research which says that nearly 600 heat-related deaths are expected in the UK. Malcolm Mystery, who was involved in the research, says that the aged, pregnant people, women, and those with pre-existing health conditions need to take precautions.
All right. So you remember that moment. I bet you played it on your show, Chris, where the teleprompter said pregnant people and she said women. Well, there were like 6 or 7 complaints to the BBC about that. And it went into a whole adjudication process. And get this, they've decided that she needs to be punished. She needs to be disciplined because of what she did, not because of what she said, but they claim it's because of her facial expression. Watch it again real fast.
Says that the aged, pregnant people, women, and those.
There it was. You saw it, Chris. I mean, that right there, you got to get canceled. That's the London that this poor guy was complaining about. That's what wasn't worth the sacrifice.
I just had a story in front of me today that London is sneakily trying to effectively ban cars. In fact, I think it came from our colleague at Town Hall. This prime minister and the government there is effectively trying to ban the car. I know Paris had, if they didn't implement color-coded stickers, days that you could drive. I mean, Europe is a canary in a coal mine. The only thing Europe has done differently than us, which thrilled me recently, was to back off the transgender chaos. I mean, it does seem like that's unraveling a little bit over there while we're just starting to adopt it. But yeah,
just in terms of the procedures on children and the National Health Service doing it, but the speech police,
yes,
you know,
that's
that
worse
we
than
just
ever.
saw there. I mean, this is a woman reading the news, and she objected to supplanting the word woman or mother with birthing persons.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
she's being punished.
Look at what's J.K. Rowling. I mean, she couldn't be more to the left traditionally of us, and
Right.
yet she's being, you know, I mean, she's one of the most successful. What I love about J.K. Rowling is to live there in the UK and basically say, "Come at me. I'm worth so much money. There's nothing you could possibly do. So come on, let's go." She's taken on a lot of this.
It
to
is
her credit.
nice to have FU money.
Yes,
I would think.
we
Yeah.
don't have it, but yes.
No, all from waving wands.
And she's even going to battle with her stars who
Oh, I
made
know.
those films. I mean, she's even told them, "Okay, fine. You want to take shots at me? I mean, I made you, but okay, come on."
By the way, kids, don't try waving wands at your workplace. I tried it once. It was a big HR mess. You don't want to do that. Please just trust me on this one. Trust Uncle Larry. You read about that, didn't you?
Yeah, and you spent a lot of time introducing yourself as Uncle Larry, which was a whole nother kettle of fish. But
which brings us to Sydney Sweeny, who just turned 28, by the way, apparently. Noteworthy. She gave her first full interview with a journalist. There's the journalist. Look at that. What do we think? What do we think? Oberlin?
it's about right.
Vassar? What do we think? She gave the interview to GQ, and the subject of the American Eagle ads came up. We'll watch this in stages because it grows progressively. And let me just say, before I even start the video, as lovely as Sydney Sweeny is, and she is, this may be the hottest thing she's ever done. Watch.
We're sort of talking around this American Eagle ad right now, and maybe we should just talk about it. So, were you surprised by the reaction?
I did a jean ad. I mean, the reaction definitely was a surprise, but it was, I love jeans. All I wear are jeans. I'm literally in jeans and a t-shirt like every day of my life.
Jeans are uncontroversial. Jeans are awesome.
Yeah, I like your jeans.
You look great in your jeans. I think I know how you're going to answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway. I mean, the president tweeted about the jeans ad, or Truth Socialed about the jeans ad, and that just seems to me like a very crazy moment for anyone, and I wondered what that was like.
Okay, let's pause there for a second. First of all, Chris, you see what's happening here, right? What exactly is this reporter trying to get at with Sydney Sweeny?
Yeah, it's well, first of all, you can tell because she's ramping up the up talk. That up talking, I just can't. The up. Can we please? You want to pass something, Britain? Let's pass the ban on the lady up talk at the end of every sentence. Let's get into it again. Yeah, so she's winding up, and she brought Trump in because now that's the thing. That's your dividing line. That's the Mason-Dixon line in the conversation. I'm invoking Trump, and so now you're either going to stand with him or stand with me. That's what she's doing.
You're compelled. You're compelled to do it. And again, there's no question other than, wow, Trump commented on you. What was that like? And she's waiting for her to do what she's supposed to do. By the way, I don't know if you caught this. It happens a couple of times during the interview, but when Sydney Sweeny can see where the direction of the questions, where it's going, she's got that look.
Yes.
Right there.
Yes.
That one.
And this phony GQ reporter with her, again, the lilting up talking, like I'm just an innocent. Right. I'm just one of your gal pals. No, but you're not. You're a hack.
Even if you notice, and I want everyone as we watch, because a couple more minutes left in this interview, and it's so instructive and it's so incredible. Notice from this point forward, this GQ reporter barely looks Sydney Sweeny in the eye. She cannot make eye contact. She's looking off into the ether or something, whereas Sweeny has got that look. Laser focused right on her, like make my day. Okay, let's see the answer about the Trump tweet.
It just seems to me like a very crazy moment for anyone, and I wondered what that was like.
It was surreal.
It was surreal. And it would be totally human I would probably feel like thankful that somebody had my back in public, you know, and conveniently some very powerful people had my back in public. And I wondered if you felt that way.
I don't think that it's not that feeling I didn't have that feeling, but I wasn't thinking of it like that, or like of any of it. I kind of just put my phone away. I was filming every day. I'm filming Euphoria, so I'm working like 16-hour days, and I don't really bring my phone on set, so I work and then I go home and I go to sleep.
Okay, so there's more, but let's just pause there. Chris, I'm pretty sure the GQ reporter was hoping or expecting a reaction like, yeah, please, Trump, don't be mentioning me. I don't want anything to do with Donald Trump. Last thing I want is for him to be tweeting about me. And she didn't give it to her.
That's right. And furthermore, she basically said, whatever your line of question and your obsession with this story is, I've got better things to do.
Right.
She basically diminished the whole line of questioning as if it wasn't even relevant to her and shouldn't be relevant to anyone else.
That's a great point. In fact, the most powerful thing she said there was, yeah, I saw that. And I put my phone away.
Yeah, I'm busy.
I had work to do.
Yeah, she's getting hotter by the minute.
It's almost like she leans in and says, and what is it you do again?
Right.
Right? Okay, so you would think that was it. But no. This journalist, who's really a radical woke activist with a journalism degree, she had
talks up. No, don't forget the up talking.
Yeah.
She's a gal pal. She's your friend.
Mission. So her mission was not complete. So here we go.
So I didn't really see a lot of it.
You've made a really good case for keeping your thoughts and your life separate from that work. But the risk is that, you know, there's a chance that somebody will get some idea about what you think about certain issues and feel like, I don't want to see Christy because of that. Like, do you worry about that?
Okay. Oh, and that smile. Oh, it's just cringy. Oh, I hope her parents are so proud of the journalism degree they paid for at whatever Ivy League school it was.
Did you see the headbutt? How about that? Did I get you with that one? Huh? How about that one?
But dissect that question for a second. You've kept your private feelings and thoughts out of the public life. You're just focusing on your work. But there's a risk to that. If you don't speak out, people might jump to certain conclusions. How insidious is this?
No, it's the worst. And it befalls just about everyone in the culture. At some point, they have to make a decision. Are they going to be bullied into taking the popular culture, secular, left-wing position in public,
Right.
which is a total denouncement of everything that is Donald Trump and conservatism, because your silence, remember, silence is compliance, right? Silence is guilt or whatever. So it's not enough to just stay out of it. You now have to affirm the left's position, or you're one of them.
Right. If you don't bend the knee and kiss our ring and read the script that we give you about issues A, B, and C, you run the risk of us thinking you're one of them.
And she's guilty of putting on a pair of jeans in an ad. That's all this woman's done.
That's right. Well, she's guilty of one other thing, especially if we can bring up this woman's picture again. She's guilty of being super, super hot and not apologizing for it. In fact, flaunting it.
Yeah. And this is a woman who goes home and has entirely too much wine and just bitches about how hot other women are and how all the privileges go to the pretty girls.
And even her cats aren't listening anymore. All right. So let's see how this question is responded to. Not that it was a question.
No. If somebody is closed off because of something they read online to a powerful story like Christy, then I hope something else can open their eyes to being open to art and being open to learning. And I'm not gonna be affected by that.
Yeah. You've come here like really willing to talk about this whole discourse that doesn't have that much to do with you, and I'm grateful for that. Is there something that you want to say about the ad itself the Sydney Sweeney has great genes? Do you have?
The ad spoke for itself.
You think the ad spoke for itself? Okay.
It's so good, Chris. It's so good, and she's trying so hard.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you'd like to say about the ad? No, it's fine.
I'm really your friend. I'm so thankful. Really, I am. Damn it, that you won't give me anything on the. Damn it, I'm just so glad that you have nothing to say. Damn it,
I'm here to help you.
She's so disappointed. She went into this thinking, oh, here comes my day. This is gonna go viral. I'm gonna get her. She thought she had a trophy buck in this interview. Didn't happen.
So this is the ultimate of this interview. This is when she just lays it out on the line, and she checks every DEI woke box and says, there are people who see this ad and they think it's about eugenics and white superiority. Wouldn't you like to say something about that? Here it comes. It's so beautiful, and it's a masterclass. Sydney Sweeney is wiser than 99% of everyone else working in Hollywood right now with this response.
And the criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
Oh, I just seriously.
If she could be more attractive, I didn't think it possible, and then
that's it.
It's this for her. What's so remarkable is I had never heard of this woman until she hosted Saturday Night Live last year, and then of course the ad. And now she's in the news a little more, and I hear that, and I think, well, she had been boiled down to me to just be a pretty woman. She's a very attractive woman. She also happens to be clearly just whip smart and surgical in her ability to slice and dice this stuff. I hope we hear a lot more from her.
She has confidence in herself.
Yes.
She knows who she is. She knows what she thinks. And that response right there, that, first of all, by the way, the way it was framed by the reporter, once again, it's like, but I just want to give you an opportunity to speak to this. And her answer was, yeah, you know what? If I have something to say, I'm pretty sure I'll be heard. I don't need you.
This was the same week, incidentally, not to detract, but this was the same week that Michelle Obama went on Colbert and talked about the burden of being a black woman and how she had to really work extra hard to show black ladies that you could be sexy. And it's, that, and I guess I'm pointing out the double standard that Michelle Obama can talk about, being black and being attractive and being sexy and how hard that is. And kind of, but Sydney Sweeney's guilty of a little play on words, having great genes, which is a comment that we have made about everybody, Tom Brady, every athlete that you've seen play in the pros, they've got great genes.
Michael Jordan has pretty great genes.
Yeah.
All right. So the question is, Chris DeGaulle, if we can wrap that. First of all, I really want this World War II veteran to see this exchange because he might have a little hope and might think, okay, maybe it was worth it.
That's why our boys went to fight right there, boys. That's why you're fighting.
Yes. At multiple levels. Number one. Number two. Does Sydney Sweeney survive this? I know for us, we're celebrating this, but I wonder if there are people in the power structure of Hollywood saying she didn't grovel. She didn't beg for mercy. She didn't kiss the ring. She didn't say, listen, I just want everyone to know that I'm going through a learning experience here and I am doing my best to understand everybody else. She didn't do any of that. So can she survive?
Yeah, I think she will. And the reason is what happened to American Eagle stock prices when this became a thing. This is profit central. I mean, it is still money at the end of the day. And she sells tickets and she sells jeans and people pay attention to her. I still think that matters more. It's not as though that's the thing. It isn't as though she embraced Donald Trump or conservatism or Republican politics. She didn't. She just didn't get baited into the left-wing claptrap.
All she said was, I will not play that game. And
you'll know what I think when I say it. Until then, I've got work to do, and I'm going to put on some jeans. Leave me alone.
And can I just say, every single politician in Washington, D.C., or anybody running for office, could you take a lesson? You are not compelled to answer the question that they tell you have to answer. You still have control over your own thoughts.
Yeah,
guys.
and I would say in this shutdown, it's a perfect example of, hey, look, we're doing our job. You can bring me the SNAP benefit stories and the airline delay stories all you want, but it's not me. We didn't do it.
Thank you, Chris DeGaulle. Always good to talk to you. Don't be a stranger.
Oh, you can bet I won't.
Any parting shots for me? Anything? Because usually you leave me with a jab, some kind of insult.
I was just curious if you had any time. I was thinking about doing a podcast with you, and I'd love your advice, since apparently you're doing a lot of work on the side now.
That might not end well for you. I'm not really a Lucky Charm right now. But
what have you been up to? You want to tell the folks, or
I'll call you later.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris. Just get him. There it is. Chris DeGaulle, boys and girls. Chris DeGaulle. He's the Sydney Sweeny of talk radio. If you care about the direction of this country, you need to be reading The Lion, published by the Herzog Foundation, the national leader in Christian education. The Lion is an award-winning news site delivering sharp, timely reporting on what's really happening in America's schools, culture, and government. It's the kind of journalism that cuts through the noise and gives you the full picture, especially when it comes to the growing movement toward Christ-centered education. But The Lion goes beyond classrooms. Yeah, it covers parenting, faith, freedom, and the cultural battles shaping our future. Just like its namesake, The Lion embodies strength and courage, standing firm in a landscape where too many have surrendered our children's future to the left's ideology. Visit readlion.com. Sign up for the daily or weekly newsletters so you never miss a headline. That's readlion.com. Clarity, courage, and news that keeps you informed and equipped. I know how much you love Jessica Tarlov. I know how much you love it when she tries to make a point on the 5 in that little round table they got going there, and then she gets shot down by the other guys at the table. I know that that's always good entertainment. I know that you're always screaming back at the television whenever Tarlov spews whatever she's spewing. But something happened on the 5 yesterday that is going to bring it up times 10 here. How you feel about Jessica? Because she did all that. And all that happened in front of a live audience on stage, a live audience of Fox News viewers. And it didn't go well when she tried to defend Nancy Pelosi. We're going to show you that in a second. First, though, a little bit of the conversation on CNN yesterday.
I don't think anybody wins these things. And I actually think a year from now, it'll be, long in the past. People won't really be thinking about it. I mean, I don't really understand what I think they got into this mess because of pressure from the left. Chuck Schumer's having a meltdown because AOC is threatening to primary him. They don't really know how to get out of it. I mean, after all, Obamacare is a Democrat law. The subsidies are a Democrat idea, and the sunset was put in the law by Democrats. You want to make it into a Republican problem. This is a Democrat healthcare debacle that you want to throw onto someone else.
Thank you for admitting that we lowered costs of healthcare.
You're saying, whoa. You're saying Obamacare lowered healthcare costs in America?
I think we made it more affordable, and because of the subsidies,
is this lightning proof?
It is lower.
Is this lightning proof?
It's
access. Honestly, you think healthcare in America is cheaper since Obamacare?
We have increased access to Americans, and the subsidies were supposed
to. That's an amazing moment. I do love Scott Jennings looking up at the skies to make sure that lightning isn't about to strike them. That's a beautiful thing. Yeah, that's all the Democrats have right now. Oh, yeah. We made healthcare more affordable through subsidies. Really? What are those subsidies exactly? Oh, it's tax dollars. So actually, healthcare is very expensive. In fact, way more expensive than it ever was. But now we're taking people's tax dollars and we're using it to pay for certain people's health insurance so they don't have to pay the real cost of it. The rest of you who aren't getting the subsidies, oh, you're screwed. That's exactly what's going on here. And Jennings was having none of it. A little bit more from Scott, and then we'll show you Jessica on the 5.
She made them really angry, but at the end of the day, there was often grudging respect for some of the skills that she brought to the table.
Oh, yeah. There were people who respected her legislative ability and, being a political boss. I mean, she was the boss of her conference.
Nancy D'Alessandro.
And there is, for political operators, a lot of respect for that. I'll tell you this, I don't know how much we raised over the years off of sending out fundraising appeals based on Nancy Pelosi, but it was a metric butt ton. I'm telling you right now, putting Nancy Pelosi in fundraising mail or fundraising emails would always produce. And by the way, it's not often that someone can become a titan of both Washington and Wall Street. Republicans will remember her as one of the most successful and prolific day traders. She beat the S&P 500 by 559% in her stock portfolio. She's worth a lot of money. She did an amazing job. So what a blow for the financial houses today on Wall Street. I'm sure they're mourning.
Just getting in an elbow, right?
Yeah, really trying to get in some opposition research.
That's a classic Scott Jennings, by the way. Like, I'm beginning to view what you just did there as like the Scott Jennings on TV.
I want Trump to put her in charge of the Social Security Administration. We could all retire in 6 months.
It's beautiful. And listen, that is brilliant. The only problem is the CNN viewers aren't very smart, and they don't really know the news about Nancy Pelosi and her stock trading. That's the problem. See, if you watch CNN, you don't really know the news. So Scott should have said her portfolio grew because she bought and sold stocks from companies that were doing business with the federal government, and she knew ahead of time because she's corrupt. You have to spell it out. You have to spell it out when you're on CNN. But otherwise, no more notes. Beautiful stuff. So that was the conversation about Pelosi on CNN. And you see, Scott Jennings is one among five there. He's the lone voice. Now, over on Fox News Channel, Jessica Tarlov sits in the same spot there, one among five on the five. And she tried to make the case in that environment about how great Nancy Pelosi was. The problem was, well, the other four at the table and the live audience.
Jessica, your name was brought up.
It was invoked, as we say. I don't know where you're getting your data on her lack of popularity amongst the party. I mean, even AOC, who showed up and wanted plum committee assignments, but also wanted to trash talk everybody, Pelosi took her under her wing, and she said, this is how you get to be a star in the party. And she was the star of the Democratic National Convention the summer of 2024. She gave this economic populism speech that could have been given by multiple people in the party, establishment wing or left side wing, and that's all because Nancy Pelosi showed her the way. She is certainly beloved by the person who's actually in charge of the party now, Hakeem Jeffries, who she handed the gavel over to and has coached him through this. And she's not just beloved by Democrats. There are a lot of Republicans who certainly at least tip their hat to him. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I know has had a bit of a lobotomy in the past few weeks, but she was on TV today saying, I'll praise Nancy Pelosi. She had an incredible career for her party. I'm very impressed at her ability to get things done. I wish we could get things done for our party like Nancy Pelosi was able to deliver for hers.
What did she deliver? What was the big piece of Obamacare? Don't we need to bail Obamacare out?
Jesse,
if it was so good, why does it need $1 billion bailout every day? Yeah. Let's go to you.
No.
Tell me what you think. What are you going to miss most?
That was devastating from Jesse, but then the conversation turned to the shutdown, which is that's the problem. They can't. Jessica Tarlov cannot have both sides of this. She can't say, "Oh yeah, huge achievement with Obamacare. By the way, we're currently shutting down the government to blackmail the American people to give us more tax dollars, about $1.5 trillion, to bail out Obamacare because it's screwed up health insurance so much that it's made everything too expensive." You can't have it both ways. And so then Kayleigh McEnany piled on.
Let me make this really simple. No one's winning, not Republicans, not Democrats, when military members cannot pay their bills, when air traffic controllers are calling out because they get zeros on their paycheck, when our safety is at issue in the skies. No one is winning. We are all losing. And why? Because Democrats, they got a chance to vote to pay the military. Fine, you don't want to open up the government? How about pay the military essential workers? Guess how many Democrats voted to do that? 3. John Fetterman, Raphael Warnock, and John Ossoff. 3 Democrats voted to pay the military. Now John Kennedy says, let's vote to remove our pay until military members get paid. Can't wait to see how many Democrats vote on that. Let me propose a very simple solution here. Filibuster, not in the Constitution. Filibuster, not passed legislatively. Filibuster can be removed for the sole purpose of spending bills. You can just remove the filibuster to open the government. When military members are hurting, when we are not safe in the skies, it is time to nuke the filibuster for spending bills because Democrats are hurting our country.
It's like Kayleigh watches our show. That's exactly what I said yesterday. It's time. It's over. I'm sorry. They want pain. They want to inflict pain on you. Republicans can be the heroes and alleviate all the pain. Get rid of the filibuster, fund the government, and the American people won't care. They really, really won't. And the beauty of it is Democrats can't complain because They wanted to get rid of the filibuster when they were in charge. In fact, Jamie Raskin of the House of Representatives, that was his position just 2 years ago. Dana Bash reminded him of that and then said, so do you agree? Is it time to get rid of the filibuster?
One of the things that he has been talking about for the last couple of days more intensely is getting rid of the filibuster. That's actually something that you wanted to do when Joe Biden was president and things weren't getting through the Senate.
Look,
is that an area where you agree with him?
We don't need a procedural fix at this point.
So you wanted the filibuster to be ended when Biden was president, but now, no.
You know, I'm not in the Senate, so I've got no say in that.
Yeah, well, that's a no. I love that. What a squirrely little weasel. When Biden was president and the Democrats had the majority in the Senate, Raskin was screaming, get rid of the filibuster, get rid of the filibuster. Now, just so you know, and apparently Dana Bash isn't aware of this, but back then, Jamie Raskin was not in the Senate. He was not in the Senate 2 years ago when he was screaming to get rid of the filibuster. And he seemed to be just fine expressing his opinion about it and pounding on the table and screaming and probably raising money through his mailing list about it. Now, Republicans are in charge. And they can do a lot without a filibuster. They can pass a lot of laws that Jamie Raskin will hate. They can do so much without the filibuster. And now, when pressed on his hypocrisy, well, back then you were against the filibuster. What about today? Yeah, you know what? I'm not even in the Senate, so don't ask me. And of course, she lets him get away with it. But the hypocrisy is huge there, obviously. But a little later on CNN, we actually learned about the real trauma of this shutdown. You know how news organizations, whenever there's a government shutdown and it's obvious that Republicans will be held accountable for it, they do sob story after sob story after sob story about children dying and old people dying and pets starving in the streets and, you know, hellfire coming down from the skies and whatever they can find, they'll do the sob story about it. They haven't done that this time because Democrats are clearly responsible for this shutdown. But last night, a crack showed a little bit. Last night, one of the sob stories, the real victims of the shutdown appeared, and the story was harrowing. I want to prepare you for this. It's hard to watch, but here's what the Schumer shutdown has done to ordinary Americans like this woman here on the right.
This is having massive impact. I went and got my eyebrows done the other day, and my eyebrow technician was like, they're going to fire 2 technicians from here because all of our clients don't have money to come. She's not on SNAP. That's it. This is how
I need a moment to collect myself. I get emotional when I see human suffering. Can we all join together real fast for a quick prayer on behalf of her eyebrows? Poor Ashley. I think about the humanity in this. And it's just hard to comprehend sometimes. Do you understand what this shutdown is doing? She went to get her eyebrows done, for God's sake. Done. Can we not get our eyebrows done? And 2, not just one technician, 2 technicians could be losing their job here. Because apparently, if people don't have money, they don't spend it. And when people don't go and spend it, that means small businesses suffer because they're not spending it at those businesses. And then the people who work at those businesses lose their jobs. It's almost like Ashley Allison when trying to get her eyebrows done. Got a quick lesson in how the economy works. It's almost like Ashley Allison could look at that and recognize, ooh, maybe the root of the problem here is that the federal government is responsible for getting money in people's pockets, and we should get them out of that business so that when politicians unzip and wave their magic wands around to see which one is bigger and they have a shutdown because of it, real people suffer. So maybe the real solution is to get all that power and money out of the hands of those people who are having the magic wand contest so that the economy can thrive on its own. But I don't think she'll reach that conclusion. At least she's gotten to step 1. where she realizes that if there's no money coming in to people's pockets, then they can't spend it on things like getting their eyebrows done, which means then people lose their jobs. Good. That's step one in basic free market economics. Thank you, Ashley. And thank God you were able to get your eyebrows done because they look fabulous. Absolutely magnificent. So glad she brought that story to the table. Meanwhile, military families haven't been paid, and they're eating ramen and government cheese. And don't even get me started on their eyebrows. Don't even get me started. If you care about staying sharp and informed, make The Lion part of your daily routine. Published by the Herzog Foundation, The Lion covers the headlines that matter, from politics and policy to culture and faith, all through a common sense, values-driven lens. It's the kind of journalism that goes beyond the surface, offering the context and clarity today's news demands. Whether you're tracking big national stories or you want to know what's happening in schools, state houses, and communities across the country, The Lion delivers smart, well-sourced reporting you're not going to find anywhere else. Go to readlion.com, catch up on the latest stories, and while you're there, sign up for the daily and weekly newsletters at The Lion. That's readlion.com, news that informs and respects your worldview. To get my eyebrows done. Kevin, she had to get her eyebrows done, Kevin. We have a round of insane illegal immigrant stories right now in the news. Lies, damn lies, and Democrat media lies about ICE and about arrests of criminal illegals. And we're going to give you the fact checks on all of it. And a wackadoodle story out of the good state of Kansas, where a small town's mayor is not even a citizen of this country, and he's been voting for years, something I was promised never happens. We'll dive into that story in a second, but first, oh, here she is, one of my favorites, Pramila Jayapal, Democrat of New Jersey. New Jersey? Sure, New Jersey. Why not? She's a member of the squad, and he's here to intelligently tell you that breaking the law is not a criminal act. Doing something illegal is not against the law. Hold your breath and soak in the wisdom of a shining light of the Democrat Socialist Party in the House of Representatives. Listen.
And it has included people who have been here for 15, 20 years, living, contributing in their communities. They have relationships across their communities. They're undocumented, but they have no other crime. And as you know, being undocumented is actually not a crime.
Okay.
And
so, there's a lot to break down here, but did you follow that? Did you follow that? So breaking our border laws and immigration laws is not a crime. It's an illegal act, but it's not a crime. Break this down a little further here.
It has included people who have been here for 15, 20 years, living, contributing in their communities. They have relationships across their communities.
Okay.
They're undocumented, but they have no...
Real fast there. Bragging to me that you continue to perpetuate your illegal activity year after year after year actually doesn't help me be compassionate to your situation. It actually makes most of us a little angrier and angrier that you've continued to do this for 15 years, number one. Number two, this whole contributing to your community, does that mean they have a job? Because if they have a job, they're either illegally working and getting paid under the table tax-free, or if they are in fact working as a W-2 employee, it means they've obtained phony identification, they've engaged in identity theft, or forgery of government documents. Because you see, you can't get a job and work as a W-2 employee unless you show a passport or a birth certificate. So they've either engaged in identity theft and purchased somebody else's identity, or they forged those documents, or they're working under the table. Either way, they continue to break the law. Right? And then she had this little nugget.
They're undocumented, but they have no other crime. And
right there. So she said the words, and then she needed to correct them. Undocumented. Undocumented means they came and stayed in the country and continue to work in the country illegally. And then she said, but they have no other crimes. Now, she's just revealed the other crimes, as I just mentioned, getting paid under the table, cash-only job, that's against the law, or forgery of government documents or identity theft. So the laws are implied in their ability to be a member of the community for 15 years. But then she naturally, as a regular human being with a grasp of the English language, says, but they didn't commit other crimes. Then she realized that by saying other crimes, she's acknowledging that being in the country and staying in the country illegally is a crime in the first place. So then she has to twist everyone's brain into a pretzel and say,
as you know, being undocumented is actually not a crime.
There you go. See, that's how the leftist brain works. I've just walked you through it. You have to lie to everyone around you to try to make any of your positions make sense. And even then, it doesn't. But if you really want to go wackadoodle, let's go to Kansas, Coldwater, Kansas, where they have an incredible story about their mayor, who isn't a citizen.
The mayor of Coldwater accused of election fraud. The charges come hours after he secured a second term in office. Attorney General Chris Kobach charged Mayor Jose Joe Ceballos with 6 felonies, 3 counts each of voting without being qualified and election perjury. Kobach claims Ceballos is lawfully living in the U.S., but is a citizen of Mexico, making him ineligible to vote. The AG alleges the mayor illegally cast ballots in the August 2024 primary and November 2022 and 2023 general elections.
All right, I'm so sorry. This has got to be a fake story. I don't know. Maybe this AI or CGI created or something. This can't be true, right? You and I both know that non-citizens never illegally vote in American elections. It never happens. We've been told that over and over and over again. Non-citizens never vote. Listen, maybe this person was lawfully in the country. Maybe he had a green card, still ineligible to vote, still illegal to vote. It's still a crime for him to vote. But next you're going to tell me illegal immigrants also vote. Yeah, the people who are fine breaking our laws coming into the country. They're fine breaking our laws staying in our country. They're fine breaking our laws working in our country. Maybe even fine breaking our laws getting government benefits that they're not supposed to get. Or maybe even fine breaking our laws with regard to identity theft and forgery and all that stuff. You're telling me that they're fine with all of breaking all those laws, but I have been reliably informed that even if they break all of those laws, they would never break the law against voting in this country. So this has got to be a fake story. I'm sorry for bringing it to your attention, but let's watch the rest of it just in case.
Large part, our system right now is based on trust. Trust that when the person signed the registration or signs the poll books saying that he's a qualified elector or that he is a United States citizen, that the person is telling the truth.
We reached out to Mayor Ceballos for comment, but have not heard back yet. The Coldwater City Council, though, released a statement on social media saying the mayor called them in for a special meeting over the noon hour to, quote, discuss recent events that have transpired with the Kansas Attorney General's office. While the recent allegations involving the mayor are understandably concerning, we will allow the proper legal process to take its course before making any further comments, unquote. Ceballos is expected to be in court for his first appearance on December 3rd.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to that. December 5th, that's a month from now. So, okay. I've been reliably told that non-citizens never illegally vote in American elections. So I'm sure that whole story will go away. Good on Chris Kobach there, though, the Attorney General of Kansas. He's magnificent. Meanwhile, over on Good Morning America, they had an amazing story about ICE apprehending the greatest American in this nation. Just wait till you see this one. This person is so incredible. They might as well be an eyebrow technician in Manhattan. That's how great they are. Watch this one. And then after you see the lies that Good Morning America tells their viewers, we will deliver you the truth about this story. ABC News viewers never got the truth. You'll get the truth. Watch the story.
Now to the arrest of a teacher at a Chicago daycare center taken into custody by ICE agents. Critics say the agency went too far. The government is defending the arrest, and our Aaron Katersky is here with the story for us. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, Michael. This is drawing outrage in Chicago, where federal immigration agents are being accused of following a beloved teacher into her daycare, then dragging her out in front of the kids. The Department of Homeland Security says that's not what happened at all. Rayuta del Sol Spanish Immersion Early Learning Center had just opened for the day. Parents were dropping off their kids when eyewitnesses say federal immigration agents chased a woman who cares for infants inside the school, then forcibly took her out.
For someone to just take a preschool teacher who pours herself into these children is just not right.
Elected officials say the agent showed no warrant and ignored the teacher when she told them she had work papers.
They didn't just walk in chasing one person. They went into multiple rooms asking and looking for teachers while children were present. This is an agency that has gone rogue.
In a statement, the Department of Homeland Security said officers attempted to conduct a targeted traffic stop, but the male driver and female passenger ran into a daycare and attempted to barricade themselves inside. ICE said the teacher, Diana Galliano, entered the country illegally in 2023 and last month tried to smuggle in her children. Congressman Mike Quigley says Galliano has a work permit and legal documentation.
No parent should ever have to explain to their child why their teacher was dragged away by armed officers. And no teacher should fear that showing up to work to care for and educate kids could result in their arrest.
The community demanding the woman's release.
For this to be a reality of all the parents standing here is insane. It is surreal. It is a nightmare.
All of this occurred as a federal judge in Chicago is considering whether to put restrictions on certain tactics of immigration agents. And in this teachers community, there is real worry, guys, about where these ICE agents may go next.
Understandable.
Sure. I think that might be my favorite part, George Stephanopoulos. Yeah, there's real worry about what ICE will do next. And George Stephanopoulos, understandable. Well, sure, it's understandable based on how that story was just portrayed.
Worry, guys, about where these ICE agents may go next.
Understandable.
Yeah, understandable. He's a newsman, you know, that George Stephanopoulos. Didn't he get sued and had to settle for like $16 million with Donald Trump because he lied and defamed him? Yes, that's the one. That's George Stephanopoulos. Understandable. That was a fair and balanced report, wasn't it? I mean, after all, they did print out on the screen in a graphic a portion of the DHS statement about the case. I mean, the rest of the time they had people screaming into megaphones and microphones and crying and jerking your tears out of your eyes because it was so horrible that this teacher was arrested and dragged out in front of her children. No parent should ever have to worry about their children seeing such a thing. That was about 95% of the story. But hey, you got to hand it to ABC News. They did put up a graphic with a half of a fragmented sentence from the DHS statement about the story. That would be fair and balanced ABC News for you. Okay, how about the whole statement? Tricia McLaughlin, she's the spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security. Would you like to know what happened here? Here's what happened here. Law enforcement did not target a daycare. Officers attempted to conduct a targeted traffic stop of this female illegal alien from Colombia. Officers attempted to pull over the vehicle. It was registered to a female illegal alien. They had sirens. They had emergency lights. The male driver refused to pull the vehicle over. So right there. That was never reported in the story. The only thing that was reported was third hand. The reporter said DHS claims. Well, what do you mean claims? That's either what happened or that's what didn't happen. And it's easy for a reporter to find out if that happened or if that didn't happen. But they didn't bother to. They didn't try to. They didn't want to. They wanted to put scare quotes around the statement of the DHS spokesperson, and they wanted to say that they claimed this, which is a word that is shrouded in suspicion, right? But who's at fault here? So the car is registered under the name of an illegal alien, and she's not driving, by the way, which I'd love to see the disposition of the driver's license of the male driver. And when the police tried to pull them over, they hightailed it, thus beginning a police chase, which is incredibly dangerous for the police officers involved and for the community. Also, not verified or communicated in the news report from ABC News. Okay, more. Law enforcement pursued the vehicle before the assailant sped into a shopping plaza where he and the female passenger fled the vehicle. They ran into a daycare and attempted to barricade themselves inside the daycare, recklessly endangering the children inside. By the way, that was the portion, the fragmented sentence that ABC News put up onto their screen, but they didn't include the part that said recklessly endangering the children inside, did they? No, sir, they didn't. Because ABC News isn't in the news business. They should stop calling themselves ABC News. They should call themselves ABC Stuff We Want to Say for reasons. The illegal alien female was arrested inside a vestibule, not in the school. Upon arrest, she lied about her identity. So you had the image, the way ABC News portrayed this, that the ICE agents, everything was fine and dandy, and everything was peaceful and quiet, and rose petals and butterflies were falling from the sky. And this woman was standing in her classroom teaching her little munchkins the alphabet and how to count. Okay, everybody, I'm your daycare teacher. We're going to learn to count today, so repeat after me. Uno, dos, tres, right? No. Stop with the 1, 2, 3. You're in Chicago, damn it. Learn the language, children. Mijos, uno, dos. You're not going to go anywhere in this country if you don't learn our language. All right, enough of that. That's what they portrayed. And then while they're having this wonderful time, suddenly the cops barge in, guns ablazing, and take this woman and grab her out and pull her by her hair. That's the picture they painted. Instead, she was in the vestibule of the building. Cops go in. She lied about who she was. Continuing with the statement, the vehicle is registered in her name, though she claims that she didn't know the man who was driving her car and just picked him up from a bus stop. Do you like that? Okay, what's your name? Okay, you're lying to me. We know your name. And the car here is registered in your name, but you're not driving. Who was the driver? I don't know who that is. I just picked him up from a bus stop and had him drive my car. Totally sounds kosher to me. Totally 100% above board. I don't know why law enforcement is even bothering with this woman and this entire scene. It's obviously perfectly normal. Why didn't any of this make it into the ABC News report? Facts including criminality and information on the male assailant are forthcoming, and we will update the public with more information as soon as it becomes available. ABC News had no time for any of those facts and certainly didn't have any time to actually put somebody from DHS on camera and ask them to speak about this issue, or one of the arresting officers to talk about the dangerous situation that was created here. Nope, but they have plenty of time to go to a rally and to talk to members of Congress and paint a picture for their viewers that it's Trump's secret police Gestapo. It's like nobody needs to follow the law anymore in this country. It's like there is no system of justice anymore in this country. And that's not even the craziest story from yesterday with regard to law and order and the upending of any societal norms. Let's turn to our nation's capital. Do you remember this guy? He's become known as Sandwich Guy. You remember on the first few days where the Trump administration had federal law enforcement bolstering law and order and the local police in Washington, D.C., and they were basically making the streets safer for everyone. Even the mayor of D.C. has conceded that it was a great plan, and they've extended the cooperation between federal law enforcement. Well, the people who are in the crime-ridden neighborhoods of Washington, D.C., they were grateful. They didn't complain. They didn't protest. No. The protest came from the white, liberal suburbs of Northwest D.C., the most expensive part of the city, where the cops weren't there. The law enforcement and ICE and National Guard, they weren't up there because there wasn't a problem up there. They were downtown. And so all of the lily white liberals in Northwest D.C., they all marched down to downtown DuPont Circle, 14th Street corridor, U Street. They protested law enforcement, and they were personified by Sandwich Guy. Sandwich Guy with his pink J. Crew shirt and his Vineyard Vines way too tight pastel shorts. He starts getting in the face of law enforcement, screaming at them, trying to impede their lawful duty to uphold the law in Washington, D.C. And then you remember this happened.
Oh! 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 It's fucking gun! It's fucking gun!
Now, he was tackled and arrested, and he was charged, rightfully charged. He was charged with obstruction. He was charged with evading. He was charged with assault. Because even if it's a Subway sandwich, if you throw it at anyone, you're assaulting them, especially a law enforcement officer. Kids, don't try this at home. Don't decide to throw something, anything, at a cop. It won't end well for you. Unless you're this guy. And unless you're arrested and tried in Washington, D.C., where the jury pool consists of people who, by the tune of 92%, voted for Kamala Harris in the last election. If you happen to do it there and you happen to go in front of the jury and present yourself as a liberal who did this only because you were protesting against Trump, then maybe it will work out for you. Because this guy who looks exactly like Toby from The Office, this guy is not just any lily white, pampered, J. Crew shirt wearing, Vineyard Vines, too tight shorts wearing, limp-wristed sandwich throwing, white liberal dude from Northwest D.C. Nope. He also happens to be an employee of the Justice Department. He's been fired because of the arrest, but he was able to stand in front of a jury with his lawyers and say, I was just exercising my First Amendment rights of protest, and the jury said, not guilty. The jury said, oh, you were protesting ICE, Trump's Gestapo in D.C.? Not guilty. Not guilty. Here he was facing the media with his impassioned speech after his acquittal.
I am so happy that justice prevails in spite of everything happening. And that night, I believe that I was protecting the rights of immigrants. And let us not forget that the Great Seal of the United States says e pluribus unum. That means from many, one. Every life matters, no matter where you came from.
It was nice of Colin Kaepernick to come out there and show support, too. I was wondering what he was up to these days in his post-NFL career. E pluribus unum only works if you've got a system of laws and you have justice, and justice is blind and apolitical. And the fact that he was a Justice Department employee tells you everything that was wrong under Obama and under Biden and, well, yeah, under the 4 years of Donald Trump when he didn't clean house there like he needs to right now. There's something very broken in this country, and it's personified by that guy. I'm not sure what all-women's law school he went to, but boy, oh boy, do we have to take away the certification from them. That is it for today's show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the likes and all the comments, and I hope you had a good job or a good time watching us today with our buddy Chris Stigall. Don't forget to give us a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's get right to your super chats, shall we? God's best friend. Good to see you, GBF. Hey, we focused on your country earlier today, didn't we? For the record, I live in the UK, but I'm 100% Israeli. All right, good to know. Stumble Boots with the $2 super chat. You're cool too. My God, you've made your avatar even more menacing. Now it's dark on the street where your creepy zombie is. It's Thanksgiving time, okay? Hollywood's over, Stumble Boots. You're cool too. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Got GBF £2 super chat, reading the teleprompter while not black. You think she would have gotten away with it if she was black? when she said a woman instead of birthing person? All right, let's see. GBF, £2 super chat. Blue jeans matter. That's funny. BGM, baby. The BGM movement. GBF, £2 super chat. Gaza women to donate used eyebrows to LA. Ah, well done there. Well done. The eyebrow technician is fantastic. What brings people to say stuff like that, Kevin? What kind of arrogance and narcissism is embodied in that woman where she can say, let me tell you how bad things are. I went to get my eyebrows done. Kevin, have you ever had your eyebrows done?
Actually, yes. One time I have.
Was it a plucking?
It was the like thing where they take the floss.
Threaded.
Like
you had your eyebrows threaded?
Yeah, it was a Christmas gift to my little sister. I told her I would go with her and buy her her thing, and she asked me to get it done too.
Have your eyebrows ever been the same?
I don't know. I didn't really notice. It just kind of hurt. I couldn't tell a difference.
I do not do my eyebrows, by the way. Other than, just trim them up. Eyebrow hair is weird, isn't it? When it like starts to get all gnarly. God's best friend with the £2 super chat. Now they are othering crimes. Yes, that's right. That's the playbook. Lisa Noble with a $19.99 super chat. Look at that. I vote to fingerprint all Snap card holders. Yeah, there you go. If you got Snap, let's get your fingerprints. Figure out who you are and what you've been up to. Why not? If you get federal benefits, I think that you should be, because there's, what about my Fourth Amendment rights? What about my Fifth Amendment? No, if you put your hand out and you start taking government benefits, I'm sorry. You need to start. By the way, I bet you need a photo ID to get your Snap benefits, don't you? But you don't need a photo ID to vote or to be the mayor of Coldwater, Kansas. Lisa, thank you for that very generous super chat. We appreciate it. GBF £2 super chat. No teacher in Chicago should be left alone with kids. Yeah. Did you like my little theatrical one-man play there where I pretended to be the daycare instructor? I thought it was inspired. Beth Walburn, $2 super chat. Children got to see the result of breaking the law. That's right. Lessons were learned that day in Chicago. Thank you, Beth. Lugan with a $4.99 super chat. Larry, I'm convinced that you must shave to get more likes during your live stream. Oh, you want me to shave during the live stream? No pressure intended. Have a great weekend and thank you. Do I look? I guess I have whiskers. I shaved. Yes, hold on. I was clean shaven yesterday. Today I do have. This is about 1 day's growth. Is it too much? Is that what Lou is saying, Kevin?
I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about your facial hair.
Oh, yeah, you do. Oh, yeah, you do. Think about how gritty it is. Listen to that. Right? $20 super chat from Sherry Berry. Larry, every month I give $20 to a YouTuber who has a special needs child. Oh, Sherry, I'm going to go see I'm heading out to California to see my child tonight, actually. He's 18 and he's spending time with his mother right now out in California. I have a 13-year-old son with high-functioning Asperger's. Please gift this to your child. Everyone have a wonderful, blessed day. God is so good. Sherry Berry, that is very sweet of you. And I will, when I see him tonight, we will go out and maybe get some ice cream, etc. That is very sweet of you, Sherry Berry. I'm touched. I really am. God's best friend, £2 super chat, charging a ham sandwich with a crime head. Hey, that's true. You can indict a ham sandwich with a federal grand jury, and yet you can't prosecute a guy who throws a ham sandwich. There's the punchline. Thank you, GBF. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you for watching. We'll be back Monday. Pray for me and wish me luck because I'm trying to fly during a government shutdown, and Lord knows it's going to be messy, but I'll get there. That's it. Thanks for watching. We'll be back Monday. Same time, same place. My name is Larry O'Connor, and you can call me Larry.